Hey gamers, it's Grind This Game here, back with Icarus. This is a beta weekend 5 called Blacksand. It's based in the desert, and we're going to jump right in here and get into it.
So, the Lagos unit's looking for data on the deserts. Between satellites falling out of the sky, exotics screwing with imaging, and their exploration team just not coming back, the desert's a blank on the map. They want you to find a way into the region, then take some terrain scans, so they can start tagging drop zones. There's a lot of questions here, and they're paying top dollar for answers. Choice is yours.
Okay, so it looks like we got some subtasks here. So N10 is where I had a base.
To the desert, you need a way through the mountains. Exploration teams reported a cave system. Could be a path down there. But that was the last anyone heard from them. It ain't your first rodeo, but this is Icarus. So don't let your guard down. You'll need a radar, and the regions marked on your map. Between the dust storms, wild animals, and whatever else is lurking up there, you'll have your work cut out. Safe journey, friend.
Okay, so the narrator always talks when I want to talk. Yeah, so N10, this is where I had one of my earlier bases in Beta 2, I think. This is the lake that has an underwater mining cave, which we'll end up using later for some minerals like iron. This is basically 8 hours of footage from the Friday night and Saturday where I played the game, edited down into about 52 minutes. And I skipped out a lot of the basic early stuff, ramping up. I've left some of it in, but a lot of the grinding, like grinding of the iron and stuff, I'll show a little bit of, but I edited most of it out. Because it's literally just me hitting rocks for hours and hours. Which is kind of relaxing, but probably not that entertaining. So we get some of the basic tools up here. Got our bow, got our pickaxe. And we'll do a little bit of hunting here. Get some... They changed things up this beta weekend. So animals don't give as much fur as they used to. Like rabbits used to give something like 10 or 20. Now they give, I think, 1 or 2. And the sleeping bag thing that lets you save your spawn point, I think it takes 20 fur now. So it takes a little bit more to get the initial sleeping bag. But not too much. Get some stealth attacks in here. Get Bambi. Good old Bambi. Poor Bambi. So this will be more like a highlight video. All the best hits. All the best crits. So there's kind of... How many phases? There's a bunch of major phases here. The first one is finding the cave. And actually the cave that we're going to, where I set up my base, is where I set up my base in the last beta. It's by another lake, by the tunnel that we have to go through. Now I went into this tunnel and did a lot of mining in the last beta weekend, and you could see some desert in that tunnel, but you couldn't go all the way through. The game would kill you if you continued on, but they've changed that. So we're getting some wood here. We're going to build an initial building, put some basic stuff in, and then quickly upgrade our house to stone. Quickly in the video, but not quickly as in... Actually, it didn't take too long. I had that one perk that gives you the 1% chance to get the whole node, and it procced quite a few times. It's pretty handy for getting lots of stone, but it's more RNG based. So we're going to make a basic wooden house to start, probably a 2x2. I'm going to try out the angled roof initially too, because I've never tried that before. Okay, this is the valley that has the cave and the lake that I was talking about. This is where I set up my base last beta weekend. There's a bear that spawns here, and the minute you kill the bear, he respawns. There's also some wolves. Got some fish in this lake, which is really handy. And there's quite a few minerals in this cave that has two openings, but it leads into the same cave. Take a peek inside here. Actually, we won't. I'm going to skip ahead. Because I don't want to get the cave debuff. We'll peek in here, though. So there's the cave system and our landing pod. Actually,
Looks like you found the cave system. Hopefully, there's a way through. But tidal forces from Minos mean subterranean networks are anything but stable. Ain't got much choice, though, do you? Damn. Cave roofs collapsed. Looks recent, but it's the only way through. So you're gonna need to drill it. Better get your equipment sorted.
yeah, so the first, probably the first 5 to 6, probably the first 5 hours was getting to the point where I could make that drill. Because the drill requires quite a few things leading up to it. Like the fabrication bench, which requires a bunch of iron. And then you need concrete, and you need the concrete stove or whatever it is, the furnace, the concrete furnace that lets you smelt platinum and titanium and that kind of stuff. So we're just building a basic 2x2 log bunker here, log cabin, just to get set up, get the basic crafting bench in, and then we're gonna hit the cave and do some mining. But we want to set a spawn point in case we die, so that we end up here. Like I said, there's a bear that roams around this area. And he'll probably get the jump on me a few times, we'll see. So it's morning. I've never actually built the corner triangles and the slanted roof like this before, but we'll get the crafting bench down first. Just one little tidbit with the corner pieces. There's actually kind of a right aligned one and a left aligned one if you're trying to figure out how to put them in. And then once you have the right angle, then you can rotate it. So that faces out, we're in. It took me a second just to figure it out. If you use the exact same piece, it'll always face in, which is not what you want. So you have to actually build the other one. It'll make sense once you try it out. The only thing the angled roof definitely looks nicer. Here I am putting the oxygen maker in. Angled roof looks nicer, but I have a feeling it's a lot harder to put out when there's a fire from lightning strikes. So I don't stick with the wood house very long because it's pretty useless. The downside of the wood house is you can't really go out exploring, because if you're too far away from your base and there's a storm, chances are it's gonna get blown down or burnt down and you'll lose all your stuff inside, which has happened to me. I think in the second beta weekend, I left the floors as wood. Everything else was stone, but then the floors gave way in a storm, and I lost everything. I had to start from scratch, which was a real bummer. I did enjoy this beta weekend, but like I said, it's about probably 4 or 5 hours of grinding to get to the point where you can get into the desert. And you'll probably want, if you're playing solo, you probably want a rifle, which is probably another hour of grinding to get all the steel that you need to make the rifle. You could probably do this mission with a bow if you're talented, but I am not, as you'll see. I do manage to finish the mission though. It's got the stone furnace here. Just mined up a bunch of iron. We'll get that smelted. We're gonna need a ton of iron. So I hit the cave behind my house, and then I hit the underwater cave, and then I hit another 2 caves close to my base in the last thing. Now this is a new mechanic. This blood spot, which kind of leads you to an injured animal. I'd never noticed this before. It's pretty cool. Kind of like a little tracking feature. Lets you find animals that are injured. Here's the critically injured deer. Oh dear. And check out how this deer ends up. Yikes, so creepy, look at that. That's out of a horror movie for sure. Okay, skipping ahead here. There's some wolves outside my door, sniffing around. Let's try to get rid of them. And I can hear a bear as well. They made the bears way louder, which is nice. There's not as many of them though, but in this lake area, there is definitely one that spawns. And the minute you carve them up, another one spawns, pretty much instantly. He's over there somewhere. I can hear him. I think I can see him. And if the bear can smell wolves or any animals that you kill, he'll run over. So you definitely want to be quick with your harvesting of animals, or carry them back to your base. There's the bear. We're gonna attract him over. One easy way to fight the bears is attract them to your front door, and then just hit their head, because they can't make it through the wall. They'll damage your wall, but they can't easily get through. You can usually kill them with a bone knife or something quick enough, especially if you get a few shots in before it gets to your front door. Unfortunately here, I get hit with a bear and wolves, and the bear dies pretty fast, as you see here. But then he actually gets in the way and I can't get out my front door to kill the wolves. And I almost die. And I can't easily hit the wolves through the bear because the bear kind of is blocking shots. Eventually the wolves make it inside and I'm able to kill them. But my health goes down to like... There's 3 wolves. My health goes down to like almost 0. Check this out. That's probably like 1 HP. Oh no. There's a little bit more than that, but that was rough. I almost bit the biscuit there. Got multiple wounds. Also had pneumonia from being in the cave. So let's repair our house. If you have a stone house, killing the bears is much easier. Well, they don't knock their wooden wall down. Here we're taking a swim. Relaxing swim, and hello! I don't know where he came from. It freaked the crap out of me. And he got me. I think I don't know whether he was hiding behind my house or whether he was in the lake, but usually you can hear them. But I must have attracted him on the other side of the lake, and then when I swam across, he must have been following me. But he gets me. But we have a respawn point just inside here, so it's not a big deal. We're level 30, and I think we've got more experience than we need. But let's do the... I think this is going to be the stone mason bench that I build next. Yep. And then I farm up a bunch of stone, and we make some iron nails. And it requires leather as well, I think. Because I want to get this upgraded, because I've already mined all the iron out of the cave that's by my house here. So you'll see this special ability proc here. It's a talent that you can spec into. There you go. We got 281 rocks because it procced. This is great when you're close to home, but really not so great when you're far away because overburdened with stone. But I'll make some stone floors, stone walls. And I got rid of my slanted roof and just went with the floors as a ceiling because it's much easier to maintain. There is an upgraded hammer that you can build. So I use that to upgrade the house to stone. It's a little bit finicky to use. You kind of have to pick the thing you want and then single left click and it upgrades. You also get the walls back, the wood ones. Kind of nice. Now I made a water collector even though I live beside a lake because I find that when you drink out of the lake you can sometimes get poisoned, but if you drink out of the water collector, it's always fresh. Now there's a bug with this thing where if you place it during a rainstorm, it doesn't start collecting rain, as you can see. Okay, there's a bear sleeping over there. And now that we got the stone house, you can see how it is, what it's like to kill him in your front door. Pretty easy. He sticks his head through. You can kind of stay out of harm's way. Take him down. It's worthwhile making the iron knife for skinning. You get a little bit more out of it. You can kind of see how much damage he did to the stone wall. Not very much. Okay, time for the machining bench. After farming up some more iron, I was able to get this going. For this mission, you'll probably want a water canteen. I ended up making a thermos just because I wanted to play around with glass and stuff, but the regular canteen's probably good enough. The leather bag that holds water isn't as good. It leaks like pretty crazy. But there's, as you'll see, there's kind of rivers and lakes along the way, but you'll probably want the thermos. Now I built the drill here. So I need the drill, and I need the biofuel reactor, which I'll make a little bit later. But before all that, we need concrete. Cement mix, I should say. Building a nice animal pile outside. Get some more stone. Actually, that was silica, I think. Building the upgraded furnace, which we need to smelt platinum, titanium, gold, etc. I only really don't... We probably only need it for steel. That's the only reason I make it. I do make it... I do smelt up some platinum, though, because I wanted to see what the platinum mining pick was like. Platinum takes forever to smelt, though. It's like 1 minute and 20 seconds per platinum, I think. But I make a bit of steel here because we need some steel screws for the biofuel reactor. And you get 100 steel screws from 1 steel ingot, so it's different than the nails. You only get 10, but you get 100 screws, which is kind of nice. Basically like a long list of prerequisites to get each successive thing. I wanted to make glass jars and berry jam as well, which you can see my building's kind of getting crowded here. I end up extending it by another 2 floor blocks. Don't need the concrete anymore, so we'll pick up all this stuff. And put that biofuel reactor down. Sounds like we have... Thought I heard a bear. Look at that! Ooh! What a shot. Okay. Biofuel composter. Sorry, I've been calling it the reactor. It's not nuclear. Now, I got a little confused here in terms of the recipes. You actually need the biofuel canister thing, which is a talent as well, to be able to get stuff out of here. Now, I don't recommend you use food because food is pretty rare to make the biofuel. I used some food to test it out, but all you need is tree sap, and you can either use wood or I think you can use twigs and some other easier stuff to get. So I recommend wood. You get 1 fuel per wood, so it's probably the way to go. Now here I am back at my favorite cave here, underwater cave. This is right beside, this is in the lake beside where I landed. And I brought myself a furnace because ingots are much lighter than iron ore. So what I do is I set up a furnace, and while I'm mining I smelt all the iron. And then when I head back, all I take back is bars. I think you get a 400% weight reduction when you convert it all to bars. It saves you running back and forth, basically. And it's pretty cheap to make the stone furnace, so... I just leave it. After I'm done, I just leave the furnace and leave it in the cave. So that was probably about an hour of grinding iron and smelting it to get a couple hundred there, I think. Now we can make the can for the fuel, so we can actually start getting the fuel going. Stick that in there. There we go. Fuel's coming. You can make it out of the fluffy stuff as well, the fiber. I don't know if we need a whole can, but I ended up making a whole can of the stuff. Here we are, back at the drill. So we'll place the drill. Throw in some fuel. And cross your fingers here.
Okay, you cleared it. Nice work. Time to get the hell out of the underground.
In case you're wondering, it takes about 20 seconds for the drill to do its thing. And like I said, it's about 4 hours to 5 hours of grinding. It may be faster for you or slower depending on how you do stuff and whether you make the rifle or whether you make glass. But this is kind of where things begin. So I actually don't go through just now because I don't think I have the rifle yet. No, I don't. So I end up going and grinding some more iron to make steel, to make the rifle, and a stack of 100 ammo, which requires 100 iron bars. So probably another, I don't know, hour and a half of grinding between that point and this point here.
The aftermath of our attempt to cool this planet down to something livable. Yes, the joke's on us. Get yourself to the scanning zone and keep your eyes open. You're off the edge of the map out here.
Yeah, so there's a few other bits here I wanted to show you. The glass making table. Glassworks table. You actually make the glass in the furnace. I also cook up some gunpowder here. And I also built a kitchen bench so I can try making jam, which gives you the jam debuff, which is pretty powerful. It gives you, I think, a lot of stamina and a lot of health. The only thing I don't like about the jam is that the empty jars don't stack. Once they're full of jam, they stack, but it's kind of weird how they didn't make the empty jars stack. And then when you eat the stuff, you get the jars back, but they start unstacking, so your inventory just... If your inventory is close to full, you're gonna get hooped here. Now, I tried building one of these defensive structures. It cost 60 wood, and it actually did a decent amount of damage to the bear. And he did some decent damage to me as well, but I wanted to try it out. Here we are with... I made the lantern as well, because I heard the light that it gives off is much more than the torch, and you could set it down, so it's pretty nice. I found this weird tree too after a lightning storm. It got painted silver somehow. The texture didn't look quite right. I'll probably file that as a bug. It looked cool though. Got silver logs. Now that was the platinum pickaxe. You can see the yield that it gives you, 133%. So not worth it. I think it goes from 130 to 133. This is just showing all the stuff that I bring with me for the mission. We bring enough to make a little wood hut in case we get hit with a storm. And as you can see, we start the mission in a dust storm, but it kind of goes away pretty quickly here. Now from this point on, it's actually much faster than the Arctic mission was, where you go hunt the mammoth. And it's if you just head north, it's pretty easy. Like there's no complex navigation really. You just kind of head north. There's some pretty cool rivers along the way. There's some different wildlife in here. There's also some hyenas. They're kind of like wolves, but pretty easy to take out. Now I don't use my rifle on the hyenas on the way out just because it's a waste. These guys are tame. They don't not tame. They're not aggressive. And there's wood along the way. There's stone. There's oxide. Quite a bit of water. It's possible you could get away with not bringing a water container, but I don't recommend it. The water will also cool you down. One thing I forgot to mention is I actually made the fur armor, pants, body, and head, which makes it harder to stay cool, but it gives you armor protection, and I wanted that for any kind of bosses or whatever I encountered. So moving ahead here, I find my first cave. Now it's pretty close to the start, so I don't bother putting a save point in here. But I did want to take a look inside, and I added it to my map. As in, I wrote it down on a piece of paper. There's no in-game mapping yet. I think there is beacons you can make, but I'm not sure if they work yet. So I want to get closer to the place we're going before I make a save point. But I kind of make one in a cave at the halfway point, as you'll see here. Quite a bit of wildlife. Now the cactus actually give fiber and tree sap, which is interesting, and some wood. Not that you would need any tree sap out here, but it gives it. So we're getting close to the halfway point here. Not of the video, but of the, actually of the video as well, but on the way there. I really enjoy the game so far. I'm curious how they're gonna, like, you're supposed to do these missions that have a time limit, and then you leave this, you go back up to the, you leave the surface and go back up into space, which is kind of counter to the whole idea of building up a big base and making it nice and decorating it and stuff, because then you have to leave it. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. If the mission timers are actually like 20 days, like they've been in the beta, then it makes sense. If they're like multi-step missions that take a long time, then it's worth kind of building up your base. Like, let's say it took 2 real weeks or 4 real weeks or something before you left the surface, then it'd be, I think, good. But I'm not sure how the developers are going to deal with that. And if the main game only has as much content as the beta weekends, then it's probably not going to be enough content for like a full game. People will blast through it pretty fast, I think. The tech tree is pretty cool, and we've seen 3 of the 4 tiers so far. But they're basically like duplicates of the lower tiers, just, you know, more damage, more stuff, more better. versus brand new capabilities. I guess the rifle's a lot different than anything else earlier on than that, but they actually added a bolt action rifle, which is like a single shot rifle. I didn't end up making it because I prefer the more advanced hunting rifle, which holds 6 rounds, I think. There's my armor, as you can see. Yeah, I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of steel to make a rifle that I think has only 1 shot. It might actually have more damage. It might be more like a sniper rifle, but I'm not really sure. I should read up on that. Skipping ahead here. Another little oasis. Writing down where I am on the map. There's probably quite a few caves along here. Here's the one that I set my save point, my respawn point, just in case things go bad. Now, I'll set one up right near the waypoint at the end there. But we'll get a save in here. So I recommend bringing 2 or 3 sleeping bags. Bring a fireplace as well, because you can't sleep in your bag now unless you have a fire burning right beside it, which is kind of weird, especially for the desert. But that's a cool little cave. So we'll set a bedroll down. I've been calling it a sleeping bag because I play a lot of Rust, or used to play a lot of Rust. And we're off. Now in the middle of the day it gets pretty hot. In the mornings and in the evenings the heat's not so bad. We're running around in fur armor, and it never seemed to be a problem, the heat. I didn't get hit with a heat wave though, so I'm sure if there was a heat wave I'd have to take my armor off and jump in the water or put up my temporary shack and get out of the heat. Now the thermos, I think it's supposed to keep your liquids hot or cold. So when you drink out of the thermos, I think you get that cooling down buff, but it only lasts like, not very long, 10 seconds or 15 seconds. So the regular canteen is probably just as good. And we're going to sleep for the night because it's kind of hard to travel when it's so dark out, and it's not good for you guys to see anything. So we'll set a spawn point here as well. Actually no, I don't set a spawn point here, I just pick up my bag and move on. Because we're pretty close to the objective. Take out a few hyenas. My expert marksmanship. I've gotten pretty good with the shooting. It's pretty rare that I miss now. And the stealth shot always one-shots them. Now when I'm panicking, my aim goes to crap, as you'll probably see later. But when I'm calm, my aim is good. And this is the longbow. I like to use the longbow. It has the same damage, but it has a tighter, has better accuracy. Jump in the water here, get a little cooling on. I like the look of these little beasts. Antelope. I don't think they kind of don't look like antelope. But maybe I just don't know what antelope look like. Yeah, they look kind of, I mean, they're supposed to be mutated, so maybe they look a little bit chunkier. We've got a cool little river here. But we're heading north. Here we are in Death Valley. And you'll realize in a few minutes why it's called Death Valley. So when you head out for the big mission, I should have mentioned earlier, but don't forget to bring your radar. which I almost did. I was about to set out, and I'm like, wait a minute, I need the radar thing. And you need to be kind of right on the mark.
All right. You made it to the scanning zone. The radar does the work. All you gotta do is keep it safe. Shouldn't be too hard.
So I head back a bit, and I build a little 1x1 here. And put a spawn point, just in case I die. Because when I fought the bosses in the past, the last beta weekend, the last one was the Northern Arctic, and there was a mammoth. And he killed me, and I had to run all the way back. I didn't have a spawn point. I had to run back all the way from my base, which sucked. So, lesson learned, put down a spawn point with a fire. Now, I should have brought stone, because these wooden structures don't stand up to Sandstorm very well, as you'll see. But here we are, ready to put the radar down. I actually put it down twice because you have to be like directly on top of the marker.
Okay. These things can be temperamental, so don't wander off.
And here's where I need a new set of hands.
What? It's dropping scales. Group 15's gonna want those. Try and get some.
Now this thing is pretty brutal. It shoots like acid globs at you, which actually don't do too much damage unless they hit correctly.
We lost the signal. Reactivate the radar. When you get a moment.
But he has another attack as well. So he'll go into the earth and come back up in random spots. As you can see, the poison's not too bad. Make sure to put the food on your on your hotbar. I forgot to do that, and I was like having to open the menu to eat food, to heal. But he has that attack as well. So he lunges, and rocks don't protect you. So you need to dodge. When he kind of brings his head back like that, you need to run sideways, or he'll kill you. And yeah, he flat out killed me right through a rock, as you'll see later. This is where I should have ran to the side. I should get hit by the poison instead of the lunge, but luckily I had the spawn point real close, so we attempt to get it again. The only problem here, if you die, even if you have a spawn point, is that when you go to get your corpse, he starts attacking again. And the game is kind of dumb in the way that when you get all your stuff out of your corpse, it doesn't put everything back on the toolbar. So you can't quickly loot. You have to like loot, put everything back on the toolbar, and then loot again. Which I never get a chance to do. We just grab what we can and then run away because there he is again. Launching his newbies. I try to do a little bit more running this time, and I try to get the rest of the stuff off my corpse, but I have trouble finding it in the heat of battle, and we're getting hit with a windstorm here, so I'm trying to run all the way back to my little hut here to get protected, but he continues to attack from a distance, even while I'm in here. So I say screw it, I'll try to just fight him, which is probably a bad idea, but yeah, I try to take some cover here and get everything back on my toolbar. Eat up some food. Doesn't seem like he can attack from here, so maybe if I put my spawn point back another 50 feet, I would have been okay, but doing the corpse run without stuff going back on your toolbar is just a pain in the ass. Now we can't fight him in this windstorm, so I get in the hut here. Like I said, bring a stone hut. Don't bring wood because it requires lots of repairs. And I didn't have a repair hammer. This hyena scared me when I went out the front door. I needed stone to make the repair hammer. So we'll make that. Luckily the worm is not attacking, or we'd be pooped here. So I try to keep my shack from disintegrating here. Because if I lose my shack, I lose my spawn point, and I think the boss kind of tough. Just heal some wounds here. And I'll skip ahead here because it's just me madly repairing this thing over and over. Okay, so the storm's over. Final little repairs on the hut. And we'll try to get this sandworm again. It's very Dune-like. It's kind of like a baby sandworm compared to Dune, though. So, trying to find my corpse. Trying to find your corpse while the worm is attacking is not fun. And there's hyenas wandering around as well. There's my corpse. Let's try to get stuff. Shots of this guy. Get it, quickly. Okay, he's under the sand. Right there. And yeah. He almost got me with the rock there. The reason I'm hesitating before I fire is because I was guessing that when he opens his mouth, you shoot, you do more damage. Holy crap, that's a big movie. Acid breath. And he gets me. So right through the rock, he got me again. So we respawn. Third time's a charm, right? That's how it's supposed to go. Gotta get our corpse again. All I really care about is getting a little bit of food in my rifle, though. I don't care about the rest of the stuff just yet. Trying to hug the wall a little bit more here, just in case. That'll help, but it does not. He spawns again. Here we got hyenas. Probably would have been a good idea to leave a little bit of food in my respawn point. Okay, we got a second here to try to find our corpse. Oh, he's gonna come right there. You can see the ground lifting. Trying to find my corpse. You'd think it'd be easy, but when you're getting attacked by that thing, a little bit scary. Get the heart rate going. Okay, there it is. Try to get what we can get here. It's pretty far away now. So we're gonna take it all and then put it back on our toolbar. It's kind of... I hope they fix that. I hope, like, the game can be smart and just put everything where it was before. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Ouch. Now we're set up. Now we'll try to take him out. I don't think some of the shots I made from far away did any damage. But yeah, I was panicking big time when I recorded this. If I was streaming this, I would have died for sure, over and over. Okay, like I don't think I did any damage there. Maybe do the range. Oh, I saw a little deep damage target there. Where'd he go? There he is. So I kind of toggle back between this giant rock and spectacular rocks. Now I brought 100 ammo. You probably are okay with just 50 or 60, or even less if you're a better shot than I am. Okay, he lunges here, and you see he went right through the rock. Okay, when he lunges, run inside. And we got a close shot there with 1500 damage, so that hopefully hurt him. So we got 64 bullets left. Yikes. He has quite a bit of health. Okay, where the heck is he? Right, too close. Okay, I think that did it. Yeah. Whew.
It's dead. How the hell does something like that evolve? Tough damn critter. Atmosphere didn't even seem to bother it.
Now, I find out later that you don't actually have to kill him. You can just grab the scales that fall off him. And I thought you carved him up to get the scales, but you don't. And the scales actually fell way over here. Like nowhere near his body. So if you're looking for his scales, make sure you look around quite a bit. And one of the mission...
You got scales. Group 15's gonna love you.
One of the sub-objectives there was to turn the radar back on, so I did just to make sure. So we pick up our hut here, and we head on home. Now the run back was pretty uneventful. There wasn't much... a couple hyenas along the way. Nothing major. So here we are. That's the cave in the distance there that we came through originally. And luckily we're going to skip that light sand. I stop off at my house briefly, but after setting my save point at my house, I just go to the lander. So we can turn this thing in. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it was about 8 hours of footage. You could probably do it in like much less time, maybe 4 or 5 hours solo.
Well, that was one wild trip. But you made it. And Icarus, well, it just got weirder. Which is saying something. orbit, friend.
I was testing how strong the glass in my spaceship was. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you all in the next beta weekend, which is two weeks from now. Bye-bye.